Good morning, I'm Ivan, and welcome to the Global Focus. Our topic is the biggest challenges development around the world today. Poverty caused by rapid population growth. Development means improving education, healthcare, jobs, housing, and access to resources. However, in many developing countries, the process becomes even worse while the population grows faster than their economies can support. Many people remain trapped in poverty because opportunities are not enough to support their growing population. The population of some countries like India and Nigeria keep increasing each year. While these countries are making progress in farming, technology, and industry, the demand for food, jobs, schools, and healthcare keeps rising even faster. As the cities become more crowded, the problem becomes more obvious. Here, we will explore how rapid population growth affects development and why this issue continues to shape the future of many countries around the world. When we look at the global development, one big idea is the difference between the global north and the global south. The global north includes highly developed countries like the United States and many countries in Europe. These countries usually have strong economies, advanced technology, and a high standard of living. On the other hand, the global south refers to developing countries that are still trying to improve living conditions, reduce poverty, and create more opportunities for their people. Even today, there is still a clear gap between the two. The global north usually has better healthcare, stronger education systems, and more developed infrastructure and technology. Meanwhile, many countries in the global south still face challenges like poverty, unemployment, overcrowded cities, and limited access to basic services like clean water and healthcare. A lot of these differences come from things like colonial history, unequal trade, and fast population growth. Many leaders in developing countries first focus on modernizing their economies through command economies. In this system, the government controls major industries and the big economic decisions instead of private companies. The idea was that this could help countries develop faster to where they were most needed. So, governments invested heavily in building infrastructure. They built roads, highways, airports, harbors, and power plants to improve transportation, energy, and trade. They also try to increase food production and create more jobs, especially as the population keeps growing. Even with these efforts, many countries still struggle with poverty and food shortages. It became clear that industrial growth alone wasn't enough. This eventually led to new solutions like the Green Revolution, which improved farming through new technology and better farming methods.
Hello, I'm Eli, and now we are going to talk about the events of the Green Revolution. The Green Revolution was a time when new technology came out during the 1940s and 80s. The new technology was used to increase food production, such as high yield seeds, chemical fertilizer, tractors, and irrigation systems. It helped produce more food for people that were dealing with hunger in a lot of countries. This also made farming more efficient and easier, and it lowered food costs for many people. But one of the problems was that this type of equipment was very expensive to get. Some peasants had to move away from their farms and lands and live in cities because they couldn't afford what they needed. It also caused soil damage and other environmental problems. Because of the heavy use of chemicals, Mexico was one of the main areas of this process, and its farming system was also affected by it. Now, aside from that, we are going to talk about what is happening in most developing countries. Countries that were economically dependent on their colonial rulers included India, Indonesia, and several countries in Africa. They exported raw materials and agricultural products. Even though they were involved in trade, they still relied on Western technology and investment, which made it harder for them to build strong industries of their own. There are still many major obstacles to development, including population growth, unstable governments, lack of resources, and war conflicts. These problems have made it more difficult for countries to improve their economies, environments, and living conditions for their citizens. Even today, conflicts still happen in places like Iraq, Sudan, and Ukraine, which continue to damage economies, increase food shortages, and make people's lives much harder.
Good morning. My name is Kaylee, and today we'll be talking about the progress of women's rights in countries after independence. Women were able to gain more rights and opportunities in many countries after independence. Governments started giving women more legal equality, and more women were able to join the workforce and contribute to the economy. Because of this, women began working in different careers and taking on bigger roles in society. Some of these jobs include teachers, doctors, police officers, and more. Some women even had served as heads of states in countries like India, Argentina, and Liberia. This shows that women were slowly being seen as more equal and capable of leadership roles. However, women still have less access to education than men in some places, especially in poor or rural areas. In many families, boys are still prioritized when it comes to schooling because they are expected to support their family later on. Even though laws change, many people still believe that men needed education more, while women were expected to stay home and take care of their families. Even with these challenges, the gap has slowly been getting smaller compared to the past, where girls are now able to attend school and have more opportunities in work and leadership. Overall, even though there are still some inequalities, women today have more rights and opportunities than they did in the past. And now I'll be passing it over to Sophia, who will be talking about population growth is changing life in cities.
Hello, my name is Sophia Internet, and today I will talk about how the rapid growth of cities has changed how and where people live in the developing world. Many people move to cities looking for jobs and a better life, but cities often can't keep up with the growth. Because of this, there are not enough jobs or housing for everyone, and many people end up living in crowded shanty towns and slums with very poor conditions. These areas often lack basic services like running water, electricity, and proper sanitation. In cities, people also start living in smaller nuclear families instead of traditional extended families. This happens because city life is more expensive and fast-paced, so it's harder for families to stay together. However, this change can weaken traditional family values and reduce close family support. It can also lead to stress, loneliness, and pressure as people try to adjust to city life. Even though cities offer more opportunities, rapid urban growth also creates serious social challenges. And that wraps up my part. Now I'll hand it back to finish everything up.